welcome back to the Ponca City Monthly Podcast. I'm your host, Andy, and it's our first of the month podcast. Well, it's actually the last day of July, but for us, we're going to call it the first day because it's magazine month, or magazine days. And I've got Kelsey Wagner, who is our editor-in-chief with me today. Kelsey, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here. Excited to have the new magazine.
Yeah, so it's the last day. How for me, it feels like July has just drug on for eons.
Yeah.
Do you think? And I was thinking about that this morning because it hasn't really even been that hot. It's been
it's been nice, a pretty mild summer. But yeah, it kind of went by. It feels like it went by in a snap. Like now that it's the end of July, but I look back and it was a long July too. It was weird.
I don't know what that was about. I thought, like I said, I was thinking about it this morning as I was standing outside, and I was like, it hasn't even really been that hot. As I say that, I know the last few days have been very hot. Yeah. And I work inside, so I don't have to suffer as much as those that are outside. But it's been steamy. My favorite thing from the month of July was that you got to do the intro to the fireworks.
Oh yes, I
thought
did.
That was fun. I don't know why I thought that was fun. I just thought it was cute and clever.
That was the first time I got to do that as mayor. I got to record it for the radio station, and so I actually got several text messages from people at the show that said, "Oh, I heard you on the radio." So it was exciting and fun.
I thought that was cute. I enjoyed. I had a very tiny part in that, and I was happy to be a part of that. So I thought that was fun. So yeah, big news. August, back to school. You're a parent. To school. You have like a school age parent.
I am. Yeah. So I've got two kids. Well, I say kids. I've got one kid who's still in high school, and we do the whole like school shopping and blah blah blah. But I have another, he's my kid, but he's an adult. So like he's 18 and a half, and he's going to, Pioneer Technology Center. And so I'm at a really weird time where I have kind of an adult living with me, and he wants to do adult things, but he still kind of has kids stuff. And it's just a very weird transitional time. And so we're kind of working through, giving him his freedom, giving him more responsibility, but also still kind of, being that support system. There's no handbook for how to do this, though.
No, absolutely not. And I am a step parent, so I came in later. So after this phase is whenever I'll start being able to offer great advice. Because it's a weird transition that happens, I think, for young people, because you're kind of like supported by your parents, and then all of a sudden you get to this point when you kind of need to step out on your own, do your own things, and it's a very awkward stage. So
and I think it's weird because all kids mature at different levels. Like myself at 17, 18, I was at a very different place in my life and especially kids today. Housing is expensive. It's just a different world than it was 20 years ago. So they really need more support now than they ever have.
Yeah. But that still doesn't change the rage factor whenever something, when you get a call that's like, what?
Yeah. I'm like, no, that's your responsibility now, my dear.
Mine had a very like weird moment where all of a sudden he had a house and all of that. And so we, at a very young age, so we had to sort of deal with, like teaching him about being an adult while being kind of far away from him. That was a weird thing, but because he was an adult and he was living in a house that he had inherited and with money he had inherited. So it was different than you have to get up and go to work every day. It was more of a, okay, I realize that you are a fashion designer, but you can't do this. You can't spend all your money on this. So like I said, in about 2 years, I'll be able to start offering you fun advice on parenting.
Good. I'll take all the advice I can get because I'm learning every day.
The weirdest thing that you're going to encounter, and I'll warn you about this, is as a boy mom, grandparenting is a very weird thing.
I've heard that. So I'm just hoping that when the universe rolls the dice, I get such wonderful, daughter-in-laws. Because
it has nothing to do with them.
Oh, it doesn't.
No,
okay.
They can be the most angelic beings on the planet, and you're still going to be number two.
I'm chopped liver.
Right?
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. Christmas Day, they're not coming to your house. Let me tell you, it's not happening.
Well, that's okay. I'll just have to live with it.
So enjoy the transition because it's going to be hard. But once it's there, then you take on a different role.
I feel like I'm already chopped liver, so that's okay.
I think all parents feel that way.
Yeah,
right?
probably so.
But yeah, so back to school, doing some shopping. I heard you recently you're doing a lot of shopping because you went on a shopping spree to OKC and then you did one here.
Yeah, I did.
You do one here kind of.
I do one here every weekend, but it's weird. Like the older I get, the more that I like shopping. And so I just find myself going and exploring more and seeing, what kind of unique things I can find. Well, so this past weekend was my mother-in-law's birthday. And so I got to go into Spray's Jeweler and I got the most beautiful diamond necklace. It was so cute. And she was so excited and surprised for it. But, and then a couple months ago, I went into McGee Jewelers and I got these beautiful, they're like gold earrings. And so I just think it's cool that we have such great, unique stores downtown that we can go and shop at. And we have great stores on 14th Street too. But Ponca City's got great shopping options.
Yeah, there are. There's lots of different varieties of things, clothing, jewelry, cookware.
Yeah, cookware. Yes, cast iron just got some great new cast iron. I went and snagged one. So, because people may not know, these cast iron pans can last for hundreds of years. Like they can last forever if they're taken care of.
Yes. So. I read somewhere that if you break the handle off a cast iron pan, you just have a handleless cast iron pan. I mean, they're that indestructible.
Yeah.
I have cast irons that I've had for years.
Yeah.
And I cook with them a lot. So
I love cooking with cast iron.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Did you know that if you are low in iron and you cook with cast iron, it'll give you a little bit of iron?
I did not know that.
Yes, that's true. Because I am low in iron. And so it's something I learned and I read and. Yeah.
Is that why you bought the cast iron?
That's one of the reasons. 10 years ago when I started cooking with cast iron.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Wow. How many, do you have a lot of cast iron?
No, I only ever had my one good one that I had. Well, I thought it was a good one. It was a Walmart cast iron. So that's what I cooked with forever.
Sure.
And then when I saw that cast iron had their deluxe luxury ones, I was like, okay, Kelsey, you have spent 10 years cooking with your Walmart one. And so I gifted it to myself.
Nice.
So, yeah.
And they're heavy. They're
very heavy. Oh, it's beautiful. You should see it. Yeah. It's like a gold lined lid. So
nice.
Beautiful.
Very cool. I like that. So let's talk about rolling into this issue.
Yes, I have one. Yeah. And I always love to show when you get it. So here is our cover. And I mean, what a special cover this is.
Hold it down just a hair.
Okay. Oh.
Yep, like that.
Better?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Relo and Ashley Adams and their just adorable little boy and their big, huge announcement is our cover story this month. And it's just such a gift that they are telling their story through Ponca City Monthly.
Yeah, definitely. And it's been a 3-part story. We've covered it in 2 other issues. This is kind of the wrap up. And in the last issue, they went into the whole IVF and all of the details with that. And I think that's a big, important subject that's going on right now with people. Yeah. I think it's becoming a more commonplace. So I'm glad they're sharing that story with people,
It really is. And I've talked to Relo and he said he's had so many people reach out about just feeling touched and being able to relate to their IVF story. If you look at the little outfit that they're holding, so they're expecting, that's their big announcement. It says made with lots of prayers and a little bit of science. And there's so many parents now that perhaps never would have had the joy of, having their own child without the help of IVF. So it's a life-changing science that we have the ability to access.
If you want to read the whole story, you got to find all 3 issues.
Yes,
sometimes you can find them out in the wilds sometimes, but they're all on our website.
You can go to PoncCityMonthly.com.
Yeah. And then we move in. We had an interesting story about the Marland Mansion.
Yes. Yeah, we did.
Author Annie
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. I'm like, Marland Mansion. Well, so I guess I relate it to the Marland Grand Home more because Virginia.
Okay.
It's like that Virginia lived at the Marland Grand Home. And so a lot of the story takes place in the early Marland years. And some people may or may not know, Marland only got to live in the mansion for 3 years. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So primarily it takes place in his home in Pennsylvania and then over here at the Marland Grand Home where he built it. But Lydie Marland's story. It's a pivoting, heart-wrenching story of Lydie Marland, who was the adopted stepdaughter of Virginia and E.W. Marland, and then he ended up annulling that adoption. Lydie was in her late 30s and marrying his ex-stepdaughter, so quite the scandal.
So that was sort of the grounds for, I'm going to say her name right, Annie Vanhoose.
Annie Vanhoose, yep.
Vanhoose. That was her inspiration for writing the story. Now, it's a fictional story. It's not like it's not an accurate account, correct?
Yeah, and I think it's loosely based on
Sure.
it. She took a lot of
Hollywood. She made
Hollywood. Yeah. So I've heard not everything is completely accurate, but it's still it's one of those things like life is stranger than fiction, because all the basis of what this is based on is 100% true. E.W. Marland, hit it rich, lost his fortune twice, became the governor of Oklahoma, and all that is 100% true. So.
Wow. But that's all in the story. I haven't read the book.
Yes, I haven't read the whole book. I've started it.
Right. That was by Marley's. She's a fantastic writer.
Yes.
She always reads her books and knows all about them.
Yes, she does.
How did that story come about? Did they contact us, or how did that work?
No, actually, I've been a friend of the author for a couple years on Facebook, and she actually released she has a couple children's books. And I've been following her since then. And I saw that she had posted that she was getting ready to release this book. And so I just thought, what a great story to share for our readers.
Okay. Very fun. Very fun.
Yeah.
Next up, we had the story about the mission.
Yes.
That's an exciting story. That was started in 1992.
Yes.
Were you even born then?
No. I'm only 25, Andy.
That's right.
Yeah, the mission is, and I've heard a couple people say that they drive by this place on South Avenue all the time, and they never knew like what it was. And it does kind of just look like it's a metal building, but it kind of blends in with the housing around it. But they feed people that need fed. They're not all homeless or unhoused people. There could be, low income, or just, people that are kind of down on their luck. And they have been feeding people since 1992. It's a really great just resource for locals here in Ponca City.
Right. And we have a great picture of Hazel. She was the one who started it.
Yes.
Robin sent me that picture. I was done with layout, and she's like, hey, I got a picture of Hazel. We need to put that in. So I thought that was really cute that we were able to put in a picture of the founder.
Yes, the founder.
Now the mission burned down, and then it was rebuilt. So this isn't the original building. But the story's written by Chelsea.
Yep, Chelsea McConnell.
Yep. And let's see. I wrote notes this time because I wanted to make sure I got fun stuff. They do Tuesday through Friday, noon to 1 o'clock. So that's when people can go by and get food, and you don't have to sign up or anything. You can just drop in anytime.
Yeah, and they can pack them up, and that you can kind of take to go orders too. They started doing that during COVID, and they said it actually was easier on them volunteer wise to be able. So they've continued that.
Okay, so it's not. So it's kind of you go and pick up your meal.
Yeah, I think they have both options.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
So.
Yeah, very cool. Nice. And then youth services. That was a fun story that we did.
Yeah, I think again, this is one of those kind of best kept secrets. So Northern Oklahoma Youth Services is way out on Ash Street. It's just kind of a nondescript building. But this is a nonprofit that was basically started to provide youth services. So for example, anytime a youth needs a place to go, they don't have a place to go for any reason, they have a place there. So, maybe the kids are kind of in transition, or maybe they've been removed from a home, but they don't have a placement yet in foster care. This organization ensures that any youth that is unhoused has a place to stay. They're provided for. So it's a and not only for Ponca City, but for all the surrounding areas here.
Yeah, that was something that I found amazing, was that they cover like Noble County and Payne County and parts of Osage. They're just all over the place, and that's a lot of kids that they have to be responsible for.
Yep.
And in the article, I think we mentioned that the average stay is 3 weeks, so that's a pretty long time to be, having to care for kids.
Yeah, and I don't remember exactly what the capacity is, but they're able to take sibling sets and keep them together. So it's a really vital service.
Yeah, great story. Definitely want to check that out.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Ponca City News. We did a great little story about them. 100 years, 100 plus, I guess. 100 plus.
Now, Callie Lamar. Everybody loves Callie Lamar. If you even go to any meetings, chamber meetings, Main Street, he is everywhere. He's everywhere. He's a community reporter, and you go to Ponca City News, or if you get the Ponca City paper, and there's always ribbon cutting. Like, this guy, he's just everywhere, and we all love him. So so I'm glad we got to talk a little bit about him in the article. Yeah, and then we talk about I got to interview him for a podcast. I actually wanted to interview him for the podcast because I just thought, because like you said, he's everywhere. He's just part of the history of Ponca City for this time period. Yes,
you know what I mean?
For sure.
And I liked that article because Robin ran out and took pictures in their office. of like historical things that they have around, from the 100 years that they've been doing it. I think one was a typewriter. We don't have any clarification of where that typewriter fell, but it looked really early. So maybe it was the first typewriter.
Yeah. So that she went down to the historic Ponca City News Building. And so it's just right downtown. It's a block off on Cleveland. But this building actually was built around, this is the story I was told. It was built around the printing press. So the printing press
I could see that.
is huge.
Yeah.
And
I think, I grew up in Tulsa, and just part of your normal upbringing was going to tour the Tulsa world and see the printing press and see how the daily newspaper was made.
Yeah.
And that's something I think kids don't. I think that's part of what's missing out of the mystique of what we do is people just don't understand how huge these printing presses are and what it takes to run them.
Yeah, I remember I didn't get to go to, of course, I was from Lamont, but I got to tour Guthrie.
Yeah.
And got to see the box, when they say uppercase and lowercase, it's because there was literally an uppercase of type that had the capital letters, and the lowercase had the lowercase letters. And I got to watch them put meticulously every letter people don't understand to the extent the intricacies of being able to print newspapers,
right?
And how world changing that technology was. So you and I appreciate it.
Sure. Absolutely. I mean, there was a movie that came out in the late 80s, and they were in a newspaper setting, and watching the newspaper the printing press print newspapers, I think, is what initially got me into wanting to be a reporter and do what I do. So the printing press is a magical thing. I think more kids need to experience.
Agree.
The point of that whole conversation.
Yes.
But definitely check that article out again. That was another one written by Marley's. More about the historical side of it. Wouldn't you say that article has a lot of historical data?
A lot of history about the much more family and kind of the journey that Ponca City News has been on the last several decades.
This one's, I know you were chomping at the bit to talk about. Stew on that.
Yes.
It's a little it's not controversial, but it's,
So here's what I'll say. Rachel Stewart has always kept a beat on the community, and she's in the know about what people are talking about. And so this article, I really think it was one of the best she's ever done. And so she wrote about the streetscape and kind of what the community's talking. It's hilarious. Everybody types LOL, like laugh out loud, and they're not always I literally laughed out loud. It was a really hilarious, and Rachel has such a unique and authentic way that she writes. It's only she can do it. And she just did a really good job. So definitely check it out.
That was a great win.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about Chamber Buzz because they're doing all back to school right now. Well, they've got two big things coming up.
Two big things, yes.
Back to school is going to be August 16th. It's at Walmart. So Stuff the Bus.
Yes.
Yeah. So she talks all about that. I got a cute picture of her from last year. I found that online because there wasn't a picture with that story, and I always like to show pictures. And so I found a cute picture of Shelly, like selfie in the bus, sweaty and gross. I'm sure she loved it.
Yes, I'm sure. Well, and for those who don't know Shelly as anything other than the CEO of the Chamber, Shelly is a lifelong educator. She loves the kids. She was a superintendent of Ponca City Public School. So she's really in her element when she's doing some of those school-related things.
Absolutely. And you can tell in that picture she's having a great day. But so, and then the other big thing is the Party at the Mansion.
Party at the Palace.
Party at the Palace.
Yes. So Party at the Palace is every year we have a Party at the Palace, but only every other year is it an auction year. And the Chamber is a nonprofit that really helps to support businesses in the community. And this is their biggest fundraiser that they have every other year to kind of keep continued operation. So it's a really big deal. And tickets are on sale on PoncaCityChamber.com. If you, they've got golden tickets, raffle tickets, all kinds of fun activities that you can do and win really cool prizes.
Fantastic. Yeah, definitely. It's going to be a great night. I don't go out to many events anymore, but I probably will make it to that event.
Yeah, it'll be fun. They're going to have a hidden drink somewhere in the mansion.
Oh, nice. So, okay. They always have really good drinks. They always have really fun ways of making special cocktails and things like that. So it'll be a great night to enjoy. All right, Kelsey, we reached that important time when you get to rant on about being mayor.
Okay, my mayor minute, right?
Your mayor minute. Absolutely. So what's going on?
Well, so I wanted to just kind of follow up. So we had these big town halls, and the town halls were really, one of them was themed on neighborhood revitalization, and the other one was themed on downtown revitalization. Two really, really important talking points. And I think we all came together, and I had told people were very nervous. Like, we hadn't had town halls in a long time. They weren't sure what was going to happen. We had such an overwhelmingly positive, I don't want to say kumbaya, but like we all came together, all these citizens from all different backgrounds, and we all really agreed. We went from table to table on each of the different days, and we kind of did some think tanking, and it was funny because all the tables ended up coming up with very, very similar answers. So I think, social media gives us this illusion that we're all fighting and we all disagree. We don't. Like, at the end of the day, when we come together in person, and so the good thing from those town halls is I feel like we have a lot of great ideas. We're going to continue those conversations with some meetings in like September, October, and come up with what our action items are going to be. So yeah, things are going great with the city. I've also got feedback from the streetscape of a couple people online said, I wasn't sure about it at first, but now I love it. Yeah. And so I think that was the same thing with South Avenue. Any time we change something, new is hard. Absolutely. People don't like change. Yeah. But yeah, everybody seems to love it. And so, yeah. Yeah,
very cool. I'm always going to go back to the thing that I read on because we dog on the community watch pages a little bit sometimes. Yeah. Maybe this issue a little bit if you read the right articles. Maybe. But, there's good things that come from it. And one of the things that I saw in that was somebody who was disabled saying there's now more, ADA, say it. I'm going to say
ADA.
ADA.
Yeah.
Parking.
Yes.
And I think that was really important because you didn't notice it. I don't have to use those, so I didn't notice it. But now we have several, I think.
Yeah, we have 2 per block, and the actual requirement is only 1 per block. So we have doubled the amount of required ADA parking, which, we have a store downtown that gives people, Whimsy gives people with disabilities the ability to go to work. And so it's important for them, but it's important for all different types of people. And so I love that we're now, I would say, the most ADA friendly downtown in the state.
Yeah, I think the town halls will be fun. Mm-hmm. Are you going to do more town halls or just the kind of rehashing of what you've already gone through?
Yeah, so we did the town halls, which I would consider like, okay, we need your feedback. So now we have the feedback, and what do we do with it? So we're going to have some more like working committees to really go through the feedback, and let's create the plan of action.
Yeah, because I think people think that whenever they come and they have those meetings, that those are overnight like fixes, but they usually are things that take years to, because like big structural changes take a long time. I mean, the cityscape, the city redoing was not just something that you came up with when you came on as mayor.
No, that's actually been in the works since actually 2009. So it takes decades, can be. I mean, there are some things that take less than a decade, but on average, I would say 3 years, 4 years from idea and conception to where it's just, the city is a big, it's a big organization. It's every sidewalk, every citizen, every house. I mean, it's all one big ecosystem. And if you do something here, it can have wide reaching impacts. And the example I like to give people is like, let's say you have a family of 4 and you say, where do you want to go for dinner? You're going to get 4 different viewpoints, and you're going to talk through those viewpoints, and eventually you're going to figure out where you want to go for dinner. Take that times 25,000 people. We have to come to a consensus. Sometimes it's a little bit messy, but the process works, and we're going through that process. So
that's why you have to have sort of the main meetings and then follow-up meetings and things like that. So very cool. I'm sure those will be really fun.
They will be.
Yeah, because you learn all kinds of great things about our community and how they function.
Yeah. So this is a great issue. I'm excited about it. And
I think it'll be a fun issue. So definitely check it out. It's all over town. It's by now, we put it out a few days early. This one came in a little early, so we got it out. But congratulations to Relo and Ashley. They're the cover story, so check that out. And we have a great couple of podcasts coming up this month that I wanted to hit on real fast.
Yes, what's coming up?
So first up, I'm going to interview Kevin next week. Kevin Emmons. He owns a lot of buildings.
Owner of the historic Ponca City News building.
There you go. Yeah. Yes, we talk about that a little bit in the. I don't know if it'll make the final cut because we had talked about a lot of fun things. Yeah. So he's coming up. And next I have Dallas with the Humane Society. He's going to come in and give us sort of an update of what's going on with them. And then, of course, Callie from the
Ponca City News.
Yes, Ponca City News. And then I have a couple of interviews that I'm juggling with, so I can't reveal those yet.
Oh, okay.
But one of them that's going to come up in the next few weeks is Annie Owens, who is
nice.
she was a mortician here, and she started TikTok, and she got all the way to People Magazine. Yeah. So
it's what's it called? 6 feet over or 6 feet under? She's done kind of a play on words.
Okay, so yeah, I honestly don't know. I read the People Magazine article, and I didn't realize that she was so well known. Like, yeah,
she's a big deal.
She's a huge deal.
She went viral.
She did go viral. We talked about going viral and what that's like.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be a fun podcast. But I don't know if we're gonna like tease that in September or so I haven't figured out what we're doing with that yet. But we'll see what's going on.
How exciting!
All right, you guys have a great month, and we'll be back next month. See ya.